Number 10. Chan Sung Jung versus Leonard Garcia. In one of the most exciting fights of the year, Leonard Garcia fought Chan Sung Jung to a split decision in 2010. There was a lot of back-and-forth action during the fight, but Jung landed the more accurate shots throughout the three-round war. Garcia was visibly gassed after throwing a flurry of haymakers in the first round, and Jung proceeded to pick him apart for the rest of the fight. Unfortunately for Jung, the judges were swayed by the wild swinging style of Garcia and awarded him the decision win. According to Fight Metric, Jung landed 106 significant strikes, with Garcia only landing 71. Number 9. Nam Phan versus Leonard Garcia. In the UFC's first featherweight fight, Leonard Garcia won a split decision over Ultimate Fighter competitor Nam Phan. Phan controlled most of the fight by outpacing Garcia and being the more technical fighter, landing body shots and even taking Garcia's back in the second round. Garcia was exhausted early in the fight after launching a barrage of missed haymakers and had no answer for Phan's superior striking. The decision shocked Nam and his teammates, as well as the audience. Number 8. Murilo Rua versus Quinton Jackson. After getting knocked out by Wanderlei Silva, Quinton Jackson put on a very conservative fight against Murilo Rua at Pride 29. Jackson was very tentative as Murilo tagged him repeatedly with body kicks and punches throughout the first round. Jackson did control Rua during the second round, but did no damage and stalled most of the round with his top control.
He's got to do something here, boss. I mean, he can't just, again, I hate to use the term, but laying and praying.
Yep.
Even Jackson's cornermen knew he was losing and urged him to do more, but he remained inactive.
Come on, man. You gotta fight, man. You gotta fight. This guy is taking this round.
In the end, most people thought Rua would win the decision easily, but the victory was given to Jackson.
Unbelievable. And even Quinton Rampage Jackson, the look on his face says it all. Murilo Ninja Rua won that fight, and Quinton Jackson knows he won that fight.
Number 7. Mauricio Rua versus Lyoto Machida. At UFC 104, Lyoto Machida defended his title against Mauricio Shogun Rua by the way of a very controversial decision. Shogun tagged Machida over and over again with leg kicks throughout the 25-minute fight, although Lyoto did land some good strikes of his own, but he was countered over and over again by Shogun's constant leg attacks. Lyoto, known for his movement, was almost completely stationary by the end of the fight, after absorbing the most strikes in his MMA career. Renegade judge Cecil Peoples gave the fight to Lyoto, stating, "We always favor the fighter who is trying to finish the fight, and leg kicks certainly don't do that." Number 6. Johny Hendricks versus George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre was on an 11-fight winning streak when he fought welterweight contender Johny Hendricks at UFC 167. Hendricks gave St. Pierre the toughest fight of his career by defending several takedown attempts and landing hard shots throughout the 5-round title fight. In the end, Hendricks' face didn't have a mark on it, and GSP looked like he was put through the wood chipper. But the judges disregarded the damage Hendricks inflicted and awarded St. Pierre the split decision victory.
And still champion of the world.
Number 5. Evan Dunham versus Sean Sherk. Former lightweight champion Sean Sherk took on Evan Dunham at UFC 119. Sherk won the first round with his superior wrestling and opened a cut on Evan Dunham's eye, but the last 2 rounds were clearly won by Dunham, who outstruck Sherk and even dropped him in the third with a head kick. Sherk had no answer to Dunham's plan to fight on the outside using his distance to his advantage. Judges Cecil Peoples and Glenn Trowbridge gave the fight to Sherk with a split decision. Number 4. Matt Hamill versus Michael Bisping. At UFC 75, Michael Bisping won a split decision over Matt Hamill. Hamill outstruck Bisping throughout the fight and landed multiple takedowns. Bisping was visibly frustrated between rounds as he yelled at his corner men. Judge Cecil Peoples was one of the judges who gave the fight to Bisping, while everyone else was shocked at the decision. Number 3. Rico Rodriguez versus Antonio Nogueira. At Pride Total Elimination 2003, Rico Rodriguez took on Antonio Nogueira. This was during the UFC versus Pride rivalry, and Rodriguez was representing the UFC, while Nogueira was representing Pride. Rico controlled the entire fight, scoring takedowns and escaping all submission attempts from Nogueira. The striking exchanges were even, with neither fighter landing any huge shots. The decision was unanimous, with each judge giving the fight to Nogueira.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Number 2. Kevin Randleman versus Bas Rutten. After Randy Couture vacated his heavyweight title, Kevin Randleman and Bas Rutten fought to determine the new UFC heavyweight champion. Randleman used his superior wrestling to take Bas Rutten down at will. Almost 99% of the fight took place on the ground, with Randleman in control. An early flurry of ground and pound broke Rutten's nose, but he continued to fight off his back, landing punches and elbows to the head of Randleman. But that was the only offense he could offer. After almost 20 minutes of being on the ground absorbing punches, Bas Rutten was given the decision win.
Rutten wins the heavyweight championship.
Number 1. Ross Pearson versus Diego Sanchez. At UFC Fight Night, hometown hero Diego Sanchez won one of the most controversial decisions in MMA. His opponent, Ross Pearson, outstruck him in every round and scored a knockdown in the second. Diego missed most of his strikes, landing with only 24% of his 134 strikes thrown. Sanchez attempted to steal each round by throwing a flurry of missed punches at the end of each round, which may have swayed the judges, along with him fighting in his hometown of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Wow, I am still in shock and in disbelief on that decision. I thought Ross Pearson had an easy decision win. Ross Pearson won that fight in a 30-27 for Diego Sanchez. Those judges should be ashamed.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe